Hi, and welcome to Jamie deRoy and Friends. We have a very exciting show for you. And to start us off, the Olivier Award-winning show from London, The Play That Goes Wrong. It's been showing at the Lyceum Theatre now, and the British cast has had to go home. So now we have a brand new American cast. Last year, Nigel Hook won the Tony Award for Best Scenic Design. It's directed by Mark Bell. It's written by Henry Lewis, Jonathan Sayer, and Henry Shields. Here is a look at the original cast from The Play That Goes Wrong. The writers and producers of Nothing to Hide have reunited once again with executive producer Neil Patrick Harris to present In and of Itself. It's an amazing evening. It's been extended again through December 30th and plays at the deRoy Theatre. It stars the Magician of the Year, Derek Del Guadio. It's directed by Frank Oz. Here is a look at opening night.
We are here for the opening night of In of Itself. It's kind of a remarkable one night infused with some magic, wonder with the larger conversation about identity. That level of sophistication, you rarely show that is considered magic. And I think those that see it for a long time.
Neil and I met years ago. He directed my last show, Nothing to Hide. I wanted to be involved with this one. It's been a long journey trying to figure out what kind of work I wanted to make. It's like the first sentence of a paragraph.
What I would say to somebody who wants to come to see the show is absolutely nothing. I want them to just appear, not knowing what the hell they're saying. Sit down, and let it waft over.
The York Theatre Company presents Desperate Measures. It's loosely based on Shakespeare's Measure for Measure. Book and lyrics are by Peter Kellogg with music by award-winning composer David Friedman and directed and choreographed by Bill Castellino. This limited engagement plays only through October 15th at the York Theatre at St. Peter's Church. The Penguin Rep presents Small World at 59E59 Theaters. It's a wonderful interplay between Walt Disney and Igor Stravinsky. It's directed by Joe Brancotta, and it stars Stephen D'Ambrose as Stravinsky and Mark Shanahan as Walt Disney. It's written by Frederick Stroppel. Small World wraps up its limited run on October 7th. Do not miss it. Also over at 59E59 Theaters is the Directors Company production of The Violin. The Violin stars Robert Lupone, Peter Bradbury, and Kevin Isola. The Violin wraps up its limited run on October 14th. The play asks, what would you do if you found a $4 million Stradivarius? In 2014, Throughline Artists developed Stage to Screen. It was celebrating the summer shorts. So now they are trying to take short plays and putting them on film. Well, they did a wonderful short documentary. 3 of the films that were done were all by Neil LaBute. So enjoy this terrific short film.
I've done theater and film and crossed over, and so I don't have this super distinct sense of this is a movie and this is a play. They are very different creatures, and so I think we're giving them an interesting blend of stage and screen.
I feel like I've seen you before.
Yeah? Yeah, you look familiar too.
Thanks.
There's a lot of benefits to working first on stage and then taking it to the screen. First thing is that if you happen to be using the same actors as we have, you have people who really intimately know the material.
Well, that explains it.
This is them living that moment.
I'm not sure I like your tone.
a film that we did like Mulberry. For me, it was all about just looking at these two guys. Having a nice day in the park suddenly turned into a very tense confrontation.
What's wrong is that I'm not going to tell somebody what you're doing with your afternoons. That's wrong.
It's a very intimate, contained piece. It's a chess game, and that screw just keeps turning on this thing. The tension ratchets up. And I think that's the direct result of having the benefit of a 3 to 4 week rehearsal period and 24 live performances in front of an audience that changes every night.
It took really just, taking what worked on stage. You're creating a showcase for that, but in a real environment, Central Park.
I have done nothing wrong here, at all.
This great gift that's given to the director and the writer is that the actors have already lived the story on the stage. And then the actors can bring that to the screen. I really wish that all actors could have this experience because it is a profound one.
Hi.
In Good Luck in Farsi, we're doing really what you would do in most movies or television. You're finding a place that you can turn into what you need.
One of the things that was really important to us was to really make this feel like a New York casting office. So we custom designed some posters to really bring the space to life.
Anyway, good luck.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you too.
Neil cut out stuff that might have worked better for theater because it was more physical or more exaggerated. But for film, we wanted to keep it under 15 minutes.
We wanted to excite it and turn up the volume. And Neil was very instrumental in saying, you know what? I really think this story needs to be told by a woman. I think this needs to have a female point of view and is spoken by a new voice.
They are taking forever with that girl who's in there now.
It's a story about the female drive to win.
Bitch.
You want to go back into it and pick up moments where you can really craft the story in a way that film gives you the opportunity to do.
Nice.
How can you most distill the story? What's the kind of purest version of it?
That's okay. I mean, I could walk for a bit if you want some company.
10K, doing it in a very different way. It was people physically running in place. It was a highly theatrical experience.
Neil modified the material a little bit that allowed them to go on kind of a nature hike.
Do try your foot.
It's about a 17-minute long short, but it's one single take with our DP holding his camera, walking backwards to get the whole thing.
We have a team of 3 people. It was myself, first AC, and then another guy helping to guide and sort of using a lot of logistics to make something seem very seamless that isn't.
You're right, I'm sorry.
It is nice to see a familiar face, even if it's one you don't really know.
I get what you mean.
Doing the play beforehand was invaluable. We already knew the piece, we knew these characters, we knew the relationship between these two people. So then when we came to shoot it, it's in your body, it's in your bones.
It's a great way to take something that people think could only have a life on stage and show that in the proper hands, it can actually be part of another medium as well.
Belarus Free Theater presents Burning Doors. It plays through October 22nd at La Mama. It is performed in Russian with English subtitles. Here is a look. The Keene Company presents Lonely Planet over at the Clorman Theater through November 18th. It's directed by Jonathan Silverstein and stars Arnie Burton and Matt McGrath. Lonely Planet is written by Stephen Dietz. And now for our cabaret roundup. At the Café Carlisle, Rita Wilson plays 2 weeks from October 10th through the 21st. She's back at the Carlisle, this time with her own songs. She's written these songs with writers from Nashville and LA. It's a wonderful, wonderful evening. October 24th through November 4th, Mandy Gonzalez takes a little time off from her starring role in Hamilton to play the Carlisle, celebrating her new album, Fearless. Mandy Gonzalez is such a dynamic performer. We were lucky enough to have her on our last Jamie deRoy and Friends. So here is a look at the incredibly talented Mandy Gonzalez.
Something is changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts. Close my eyes and leap. It's time to try defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. I'm through accepting limits, 'cause someone says they're so. Some things I cannot change, but till I try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love. I guess I lost. Well, if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. I'd sooner die defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye, I'm defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. Come with me. Unlimited. Together we're unlimited. Together we'll be the greatest team there's ever been. Dreams the way we planned them. If we work in tandem, there's no fight we cannot win. Just you and I, defying gravity. With you and I, defying gravity. They'll never bring us down. Well, are you coming? Yes? So if you cannot find me, look to the western sky. As someone told me lately, everyone deserves the chance to fly. And if I'm flying solo, at least I'm flying free. To those who ground me, take a message back from me. Tell them how I am defying gravity. I'm flying high, defying gravity, and soon I'll match them in renown. And nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down. Bring me
At Feinstein's 54 Below, a host of terrific performers. One of them, Andrea McArdle, is there from October 10th through the 14th. We first saw Andrea in Annie, where she was nominated for a Tony Award. She also won the Theatre World Award and the Outer Critics Circle Award for her performance in Annie. She's gone on to star in many Broadway shows, including Beauty and the Beast and Starlight Express and many others. It's going to be a wonderful evening of stories and songs. Charles Busch is performing 4 shows at Feinstein's 54 Below from October 17th through the 21st. His musical director is his longtime friend, Tom Judson. It's My Kind of 60s. Charles is performing as himself, not in drag. He's always a delight. On October 26th, a very special night at Feinstein's 54 Below, when they present the Broadway tenors celebrating the release of their CD. There's a dozen incredible tenors, among them Norm Lewis, Brent Barrett, and Max von Essen. Be sure to catch this terrific show. Tony Award winner and brand new mom, Laura Benante, and her mother, Linda Benante, celebrate the relationship between mothers and daughters. Over at Birdland on Monday, October 9th, the Broadway at Birdland series presents Broadway leading man Santino Fontana. You remember Santino as the Prince Charming in Cinderella, among many other wonderful roles. On Monday, October 23rd, part of the Broadway at Birdland series, Steve Ross presents Come On In Here, an Irving Berlin celebration. Here's a look at Steve Ross when he performed on Jamie deRoy and Friends.
Come the wild, wild weather, come the wind, come the rain, come the little white flakes of snow, come the joy, come the pain. We shall still be together when our life story ends, for wherever we chance to go, we may always be friends. We may find as we're traveling through the years, moments of love and joy and happiness, reason for grief, reason for tears. Come the wild, wild weather, and we've lost or we've won, we'll remember these words we say till our story is done. Time may hold in store for us glory or defeat, maybe never more for us life will seem so sweet. Time will change so many things, tides will ebb and flow, but wherever fate may lead us, always we shall. Come the wild, wild weather, come the wind, come the rain, come the little white flakes of snow, come the joy, come the pain. We shall still be together when our life story ends, for wherever we chance to go, we shall always be friends. We may find as we're traveling through the years, moments of love and joy and happiness, reason for grief, reason for tears. Come the wild, wild weather, if we've lost or we've won, we'll remember these words we say when our story is done. We'll remember these words we say when our story is over and done. When our story is over and
Ann Hampton Calloway plays at Birdland from October 31st through November 4th. She's such a champion of the great American songbook. She's a writer herself. There's nothing this woman can't do. So I know you're not going to want to miss this show. Over at Don't Tell Mama, Tim Moss brings his new show to the club, continuing his run on October 7th and 15th. Over at Green Room 42, for one night only on October 8th, Frances Raffel brings her show to the club. Frances lives in New York. Frances Raffel was the original Eponine in Les Miserables, and she won the Tony Award for that performance. She'll be joined with special guest this night, Craig Bierko.
Stop taking door, and I've quit drinking whiskey. My old man plays the trombone and works out a track out of sight. I ought to follow them into
Also at Green Room 42, Ava Noblezada will present 4 dates starting October 11th. She can currently be seen in the revival of Miss Saigon, for which she was nominated for a Tony Award. Over at Jazz at Lincoln Center at Rose Hall from October 16th through the 19th is the Mabel Mercer Foundation Cabaret Convention. They present 60 performers, and anyone who's anyone will be performing in these series of shows. KT Sullivan hosts the Gala opening night on October 16th. The next night is hosted by Jeff Harner and Andrea Marcovici. Swonderful, the music of George Gershwin. On October 18th, Intimate Nights, the Golden Age of Cabaret, is hosted by James Gavin. The last night of the convention is hosted by Clea Blackhurst. Too Marvelous for Words, the music of Hoagie Carmichael and Richard Whiting. This year, the Mabel Mercer Award goes to Vivian Reed. And here's a look at the Cabaret Convention.
Nothing's impossible, I have found. But when my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up, strip off, and start all over again. Don't lose your confidence if you slip. Be grateful for a pleasant trip. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again. Work like a soul inspired till the battle of the day is won. You may be uninspired, but don't be a man, my son. Will you remember the famous men who had to start and rise again? Let yourself fall, take a deep breath, pick yourself up, and start all over again.
It's funny, that rainy day is here. On second thought, that rainy day, it's here. Across the river and round the bend, hello stranger, so long old friend. The voice in the lonesome night keeps whispering, Rome. I'm going where the welcome mat is, 'cause no matter where that is, I am home. Wherever I roam, that's how it's got to be. I'm moving on when the spirit moves me. And any place I hang my hat is
To close our show, some very exciting news because the Big Apple Circus is back at Lincoln Center, celebrating its 40th year. It runs from October 27th through January 7th.
I am Nick Walenda, and I am the headliner on Big Apple Circus.
My name is Ahmed Tunisiani. I'm a trapeze flyer, and I will be presenting the quadruple somersault in the Big Apple show.
I'm Giuliano Anastasini.
I'm Fabio Anastasini.
And I will be performing our Risley act at the Big Apple Circus.
My mom was 6 months pregnant with me and still performing, so I started performing before I was alive. That's really, I don't even remember. People say, how do you do it? And it's hard for me to describe because it's just what I do.
For me, it's normal, you know. I grew up in this business. I was raised and born in circus, touring in the show. It's what I love, you know, it's my life.
I think as a child, it was like the thing I always wanted to do.
You know, it takes a lot of training and a lot of mental training, and that's what people don't realize. And I think that's the cool thing, again, about being in the environment of Big Apple Circus is that people can feel that stress and that tension, but it makes it more personal.
It's going back to traditional circus, which I love, having the audience very close to you, you being close to the audience, you know?
It's exciting. I mean, you're in there, you're in front of
thousands of people sometimes.
And they really enjoy what you're in there. They go with the eyes of excitement, you know, and they get scared and then they jump and because you see because they see what you do up there.
And at the same time, you can leave from that and think that, you know, and whatever you wanted to do, you can do that.
It's inspiring. Like, you come to the circus and you see things you've never really seen before. So you leave thinking, okay, more things actually can be done.
And that's my hopes, is that people will come see this show and be inspired to do greater things, and inspired to pursue their dreams.
That magic that the show provides, they're gonna keep that forever. It's something that you're never gonna regret watching. And I will say, just come see it. Come feel that magic that we have in a tent show. It's very special.